This is the biggest bike race in the world, the largest annual sporting event. This is an event that transcends cycling, a place where dreams are fulfilled and legends are made, and it's coming to the UK. The Tour de France organisers just dropped one of the biggest announcements of the year. The 2027 editions of both the Tour de France and the Tour de France Femmes will start in the UK. Now, this is a historic moment as it marks the first time that both races start in the UK and the first time that the Tour de France Femmes will start in the same place as the men's race. But why are they starting here? What can we expect? And what happened the last time the Tour de France visited the UK? Before I go any further, I'm going to take a moment to explain why this is a big deal. Maybe you're new to cycling, or you just heard the news and you want to know more. And for those mega fans, people who followed cycling for a long time, here's a moment of calm in the madness. And a quick reminder of what the Grand Départ is, what it means, what it represents. The Tour is a 3-week event, so you can't just do the same thing over and over and over and expect people to tune in and stay excited. Instead, we have this hype around the beginning of the race. Who will wear the first yellow jersey? Who's in form or off the mark? The stakes are already high, but add in the nervousness and the fact that in theory, any rider could lead the race at the end of day one, and you get this high stakes moment in the racing. Okay, so why is the Tour coming to the UK in particular? We first got a hint that something big was brewing back in September last year when British cycling CEO John Dutton gave his backing to a bid to host the Grand Départ. But the idea's been around much longer than that. Since coming into the role at British Cycling in 2023, Dutton has been a big proponent of mega events. In fact, just a quick look through his CV shows someone who's been involved in huge sporting events all throughout his career. From the PGA Tour back in the 90s to the Rugby World Cup, and importantly, the 2014 Tour de France Grand Départ in Yorkshire. And he's been wanting to bring it back to the UK ever since. But it's not just Dutton and British Cycling that pushed for this. The Cycling Weekly reported that Paul Bush, the bid's chair, revealed the big plan had taken a long time to come to fruition, and the first discussions that he'd had with Christian Prudhomme, the Tour's director, and his team was actually way back in 2007. Now, back in 2021, the British government said it was allocating millions of pounds to try to bring the Grand Départ back for 2026, with stages across England, Scotland and Wales. Then, after the World Championships in Glasgow, Scottish Cycling indicated a desire to host the Tour as well. So it's been this floating around for a while now. And in September, a UK sport spokesperson confirmed talks remained ongoing, telling the BBC, "We've made no secret of our ambition to host the Tour de France Grand Départ in Britain and to inspire more people to enjoy cycling and bring long-lasting benefits to communities." Christian Prudhomme, the director of the Tour de France, referenced our rich shared history and how Britain has always welcomed the Tour with enthusiasm and pride, and this collaboration across England, Scotland and Wales promises to make the event even more special. But here's the thing. The Tour de France doesn't have a formal bid process or a deadline, and one of the unspoken aspects of exactly why the Tour will come here is money. Lots and lots of money. According to research in 2020, London paid €2 million to organisers ASO to host the Grand Départ, and the full cost of the 2014 Yorkshire Grand Départ ran up to £27 million. So there might be some really good reasons behind the decision to take the Tour to the UK, but from ASO's perspective, it might just come down to cold, hard cash. So looking at past events, what can we expect from the 2027 Tour? What we know so far is that the race will start in Edinburgh before heading for stage finishes in Wales and England. John Dutton has previously stated that they'd love to come to London, and they were looking at big population centres like London, Glasgow, Cardiff and more. So it could be that we see another sprint finish on the Mall in London for stage 3, just like in 2014. And one question that remains is whether the Tour de France and the Tour de France Femmes will share exactly the same route while they're over here, or whether they'll switch it up with different stage hosts and different routes. And as I just mentioned 2014, what happened the last time the Tour came to the UK? You might remember the visits in 2014 and 2007 as London and Yorkshire played their part in the biggest bike race in the world, and Cambridge. In 2007, London had 2 stages, a prologue and a fairly flat road stage to Canterbury, whereas 2014 was part of this new era of the Tour where we often get punchier road stages to start. That year, Mark Cavendish famously crashed in the stage 1 finale, and Vincenzo Nibali started his dominance on a stage to Sheffield that resembled the Ardennes Classics. Superstars like Marcel Kittel, like Nibali, like Cancellara, all picked up stage wins on those last visits. So we could be about to see Pogačar smashing it up the Royal Mile in Edinburgh for a stage victory. I'm inclined to say that we'll get something more akin to the 2014 Tour with 3 stages that will feel like the Spring Classics on the UK's tight, twisty and rolling roads. Now this feels like a huge moment for cycling in the UK, especially at the time when the British scene is really struggling. But I can't help but feel slightly worried that the focus will be on big mega events like the Tour, rather than the real grassroots side of cycling that leads to a strong foundation. Okay, that's enough from me. What do you think the route will be like? How do you think it will play out? And do you think this will be good for the British scene? Let me know down in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer any questions you've got. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.